What happens when Homer gets a hernia? He carries Marge up the stairs and flicks his back. They fell down the stairs. Marge hit Homer in the stomach. Homer got a bad abdominal injury and a hernia.
What is your emergency?
Bart's gonna keep the beer out of his reach. Homer's hernia would come out of his stomach.
Doctor told you to listen to your body.
He worked on the equipment lying down at work. He wouldn't stop eating while Marge was learning to surf. Marge invited him to the beach. He refused after the hernia persuaded him to. He also stabbed Marge in the hair with a drone. Marge asked him to take care of the kids, but all he did was talk to hernia. He sleeps in a tub. Patty pulls him away with a rope tied to the basin. Lisa was trying to ease her parents' relationship. She'd find Homer.
You can see me?
Maggie would knock out hernia. Homer took the kids to the beach. He saw Marge punching an umbrella, and he saw the sheriff who flattened his bike. He threw away his hat and rubbed off the sunscreen. Hernia roared at him. Marge covered the hernia with a bucket. Coach took the parachute punching equipment to Homer. He opened the biggest kite and dashed into the sea. Homer pulled down the rope and took control of the chute. He and Marge spun and hugged on the wind turbine. What will happen to the runaway Nielsen? When Lisa and Nielsen get married, Nelson became a painter. He would press House's head into a bucket. House picked up a brush and painted the wall. Nelson went upside down on the railing. He fell to the ground. Lisa pulled him back, worried. They looked at each other. Homer grabs him by the ear and lifts him up.
But just to play it safe, we're gathered.
Homer pokes Nelson and Lisa with a gun and they get married. Nelson replaced himself with a pig.
No wonder he was pooping so much.
When Homer arrived with his men, they took the raft. Nelson paddled the raft downriver. He went to the store and saw his own wanted poster. He pulls it out. He kept paddling the raft. Homer was chasing him. He climbed aboard a luxury cruise ship.
They's separated.
The captain steps on his hand while he's singing. He fell off the boat and got knocked off into the luxury cruise ship. Malloy pours him a drink.
That barkeep's a no-good change.
The crowd pulled out their guns. They were persuaded by Malloy. They all fired their guns and fought.
Man, those Derringer bullets are...
Malloy threw him overboard. Homer, who was lurking under the water, caught him. He put them in the coffin with a rope. What happens when Bart is replaced by a robot? Bart's fingers moved and he woke up with a start. Returns home and sees the robot with its head opened by Homer. David ripped Bart's pants off and ate it, then pulls the doll out of his ass and gives it to Marge. They take a walk with Marge. Bart gives Marge flowers. He adjusts the wires and prepares a surprise for Marge. Bart squirts milk out of his nose. He makes ice cream with his nose. Bart took the ice cream angrily, but he liked it very much. Looking at David standing on the side, and gets a bad idea. He pushes David and gets bounced, falls into the peacock park and is surrounded by mutant peacocks. Homer leaves Bart in the middle of nowhere and leaves. The rain soaks Bart's head. He walks through the woods and sees all kinds of robots. And the robots joined him in the fire, and they slept with him. In the morning, the robots were stripped of all their parts. Bart bursts into the house, armed to the teeth. David and Homer were cut in half. Homer's lower body is fitted with David's device. The parts came apart and he fell down. It started when Bart stood on the windowsill and fell. He was in a coma, so the Simpsons bought a robot boy. 1 foot down, activated. Marge hugs him. Homer chokes him. He punched Flanders and rubs Lisa's shoulders.